She throws a drop, curve, and a changeup really well, and is a strikeout just phenom. Just works through the count, doesn't get frazzled very easily, has an awesome poker face, and gets up in the upper 60s and even low 70s. So she's hard to catch up to for most of these batters.
And Minnesota will attack Montana Fouts with a very similar lineup to last night. Really, the only change is Den Hartog at DP, but it starts with Jensen, Partain, and Houlihan. And they will look for a little bit more offensive production against Fouts. Just 2 hits for the Golden Gophers against the freshmen, who we will talk about a good bit this evening. And the first pitch is a bit low for ball 1.
What's going to be key here is Montana staying in the game, her defense not getting lax and making errors, and really trying to keep these Gophers off the bases, because once they get on, it's contagious. It'll get through the lineup and runners will score.
The 1-0 to Jensen. Hits the outside corner for a strike. I'm sorry, Rachel, go ahead.
I was just going to say, one thing that is really good about this first inning too, and it was very important about pitching, is making sure that you figure out the strike zone early, just like Montana did. She can see now that he's going to call that outside corner pitch, so she'll probably go back to that a lot, especially on the lefties.
See if she does it on the 1-1, and swing and a miss on the rise to Jensen, the sophomore from Watertown, Wisconsin. 2018 second team All-Big Ten. 2018 All-Big Ten freshman team, 0 for 3 last night with a strikeout. But you're right, it's also key for Stephanie Van Brakel Prothro, the pitching coach for Alabama, to see what pitches will be called strikes. The 1-2, fouled off. Swing and a miss, and Montana Fouts picks up right where she left off last night, the first strikeout of the day, and there's one away.
That's one way to start off the game right there, just really going at it, right at these pitchers, right from the gun, or excuse me, right at these hitters, right off the gun, just doing what she does best and striking them out.
Here's the Alabama outfield. Schroeder, Alyssa Brown in center. We'll talk more about her later. And KB Sides in right. And then the infield, Morgan at third, Jenkins at short, Wallace at second, Tao at first, and Bailey Hempill behind the plate. First pitch to McKenna Partain is right over to Maddie Morgan, and she makes the easy catch for out number 2.
That's what you call efficient pitching right there. First pitch. Great job by Montana.
Maddie Houlihan, the senior, will step up now. From Plymouth, Minnesota. Went 1 for 3 last night. One of the 2 Golden Gopher hits against the freshman in the circle. First pitch just misses. So Rachel, when you see a pitcher a second day in a row, what are you doing the night before? What are you doing after the game last night to prepare for Fouts again?
Well, film is always a very good visual aid, and seeing what she threw to you, and if she was successful.
As that one goes right to Maddie Morgan. We'll finish that thought on the other side as Morgan makes the catch for out number 3. Bama coming to bat here in the first. Back here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama coming to bat. No score between the Crimson Tide and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And for the second night in a row, Rachel, we see Amber Fizer, the junior pitcher, in the circle for Minnesota.
Right. What's going to be key with these players here is just making sure that they don't make the same mistakes that they did last night. And same with Fizer. She gave up the hit in the bottom of the 7th, and maybe for Alyssa Brown, she doesn't throw that pitch again. Maybe she goes more inside to her. And, I mean, she didn't give up very many hits last night, 4 hits total. So just, I mean, really keeping the same game plan would not be a bad one, especially, I mean, they scored in the bottom of the 7th. They essentially got lucky, I guess. So, I mean, luck sometimes is the unfortunate luck of the draw. So just staying within herself and going right at these Bama hitters is what's going to be key.
And the Bama hitters Fizer will face. We'll start with Kaylee Tao. Sides and Hempill due up. You see the rest of the batting order right there. Schroeder moved up to the 4th spot here for this game. And the first pitch to Kaylee Tao. Almost gets away from the catcher Burns for ball one. Tao, the sophomore from Madisonville, Kentucky, was 0 for 2 with a walk against Pfizer last night. This one fouled off. So we're talking in the top half of the first about making adjustments to seeing a pitcher a second day in a row. So expand a bit more on what you were saying there.
So one thing that hitters do especially is look at film. Film is hugely important as far as hitting, especially now that they have access to it. So for Kaylee Tao, for example, she threw a lot of off-speed pitches to her last night. So maybe with her not success with it, she could expect to see a couple tonight. So just making sure she knows what the pitchers has and being able to make adjustments from that.
Tao did a nice job holding off on that off-speed pitch that was a bit upstairs. The 2-1. That one finds a strike zone. Pfizer second in the Big Ten in strikeouts, right behind Danielle Williams of Northwestern. 244 and a third innings pitch for the Gophers last year. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Amber Pfizer starts off with a strikeout. There's one down.
That's a great pitch by Pfizer here. Just knowing what Kaylee's, hole is right now on her swing, the low and away, and then also using the off-speed to get ahead in the count. So that's a huge and great job by her.
Minnesota defense. There you see the alignment. Brandt, Jensen, Houlihan out in the outfield. And the infield. Kemet Mueller at third, Arneson at short, Partain at second, Brandner at first, and Burns behind the plate. Catching for Pfizer, who throws a pitch that's fouled off by KB Sides, the sophomore from Dora, Alabama. KB 0 for 3 against Pfizer last night. Not a good day for the top of the order, Rachel. First four, 0 for 11 yesterday against the Gophers.
Sometimes that happens, but hopefully that's not the case tonight. But, last night, Alyssa Brown picking up that big hit, I'm sure that they didn't mind it came from the bottom of the lineup.
There is Alyssa Brown, batting in the 9-hole once again tonight. The 0-2 to KB Sides. Upstairs for ball one. Fouled off. Well, it certainly looks, Rachel, as if these pitchers have not lost a step. They look exactly the same way they did last night in the circle. Definitely.
And you'd think after seeing them the third and fourth time it would be a different outcome, but with the advance, as good as these pitches are, it's hard to do.
1-2. Poked right down the first base line. This will be tough. Did they get her? No. The first baseman, Brandner, tried to make the tag, but KB Sides, using that speed, scurries to first for an infield single.
And this is one of the, benefits of being a slapper is you can have a miss hit and still be safe. She just drags this down the line with her almost like a bunt and just avoids the tag and beats the throw out. That's a great hustle play by KB there, KB Sides, and unfortunately, Hope was not able to make the tag.
We're looking at the replay and definitely didn't get her. The umpires are conferring in the infield.
Looks like the call will stand.
Yeah, that's the right call there, as Sides did beat it out, so she is aboard. And a chance for Bailey Hemphill. KB Sides has speed, 9 for 9 stolen bases this season. First pitch to Hemphill, swing and a miss. Bailey, the junior from Lafayette, Louisiana. 2018 second team All-SEC, 2017 Bama Bash All-Tournament team. He was 0 for 3 against Minnesota last night with a strikeout. The 1-1. This one hit high and hard. Moving over is Partain, and she can't find it. We've seen that before, but the throw to second will get KB sides. Nothing KB could do, as she had to hang around first in case the ball was caught, and there's 2 away.
That's a tough break for Bama because KB sides is significantly faster than Bailey Hemphill, so if there's a ball hit to the gap that KB probably would have scored on, which in this case Bailey's now at first, so unfortunately she may not. That's a big loss for Bama there, but Maris Schroeder up to bat now. Hopefully can find a way to put something together.
It's called a fielder's choice. I mean, have you ever seen this many dropped outfield balls as Schroeder fouls off the first pitch?
I mean, it is just the lights, I guess, or the atmosphere or something. I don't know. Those high ones can be very tricky depending on the wind. And, again, this weather has probably not helped at all. So just being able to make adjustments from that, I guess, can help.
Yeah, the wind heading straight out as Minnesota will chat in the circle. You can see the flags over on the right field wall blowing pretty steadily. As the Alabama trainer coming out and chatting with the umpires, making sure, I guess, everyone's okay. So after that brief intermission, Maris Schroeder will step back in, the senior from Houston, Texas. Playing out in left tonight. The 0-1. Low. Maris 1 for 3, one of Alabama's 4 hits against Pfizer yesterday. The 1-1. And Schroeder hits this one high. Will it drop? Coming in and making the catch is Houlihan out and right for out number 3. Alabama gets 1 aboard but can't move her. We're scoreless here in Tuscaloosa. Another scoreless night here in Montana Fouts. A big reason why Minnesota didn't cross the plate last night.
I mean, just execution here. Again, she's hitting her spot. She's not missing. And when she does, they don't hit it. So just great execution by Montana Fouts and really being a leader for this Crimson Tide defense.
The strikeout to walk ratio is now 42-2 this season. That might be the biggest story of the night, honestly. Montana Fouts with the first 2 walks of the year yesterday against Minnesota. She will go against Brandner, Den Hartog, and Kimmett Mueller. And first pitch strike to Hope Brandner. Sophomore, transferred in from Oregon State. Last year, 36 runs batted in, 12 homers for the Beavers. Last night, 0 for 2 with a walk. Secured that first walk of Montana Fouts' Alabama career. Swing and a miss on the rise, 0-2. The 0-2 holds off on that rise, and Brandner wanted to go for it.
One thing that I've noticed too is just these Alabama pitchers climb the ladder. So if you see one high, you're going to see another one high up again.
Don't want to leave one over the plate to Brandner, who's got good power. Third team All Pac-12 as a freshman, and also on the all-freshman team for Oregon State last year. The 1-2. Curve misses, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Brandner continues to fight.
Wow, that one coming in at 71 miles an hour.
Yeah, we've got the radar gun tonight, so we will know how fast Montana Fouts throws it in. She can touch 75. Enough speed there with a 48.
48, my goodness, that is a pitch change, that's for sure. Look at this again. I mean, even though I missed, it still gives her the opportunity to throw that pitch later and keeps the batters on their toes.
23-mile-per-hour difference.
Absolutely.
But it is a ball. Here's the payoff pitch. Did she go? No, it's a walk. And Brandner walks for the second time against Fouts and the first time in this game, and the Gophers have a runner aboard. We've talked a lot about Montana Fouts. Here's why. Pretty highly recruited player, 3-time Kentucky Gatorade Player of the Year, USA Today High School Player of the Year a season ago, 25 no-hitters and 15 perfect games, ERA of .16 in Kentucky. Just ridiculous numbers, Rachel.
Coming back with a strike again.
And that one to Natalie Den Hartog, the freshman from Hopkins, Minnesota. Came in a pinch hitting situation last night. Was 0 for 1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Patrick Murphy over there in the Alabama dugout. 21st season as the Alabama head man. National championship in 2012. Couple SEC championships. And has never missed Super Regionals as long as they've existed. The 0-2. Poked right towards first. Kaylee Tao steps on the bag. Thought about going to second, but will not. There's one away.
I don't know if Kaylee Tao could have made the play here, but maybe going to second would have been her better play to keep the runner off of second base and out of scoring position.
Head coach Jamie Traxel from Minnesota probably glad Kaylee Tao didn't go to second as she sees her team with a runner in scoring position. Second year for Traxel. And Caitlin Kimmitt-Mueller will try and drive in the runner at second. First pitch strike. Kimmitt-Mueller 1 for 3 last night. Junior from Rogers, Minnesota. The 0-1, high. Last night, Minnesota 1 for 10 with runners on base and 0 for 6 with them in scoring position. And that 1-0 decision in favor of the Crimson Tide. Hard foul.
71 miles per hour again. Consistency. I wonder if she'll hit 75 on the gun tonight.
I'd like to see that. We are told by the folks in the truck that is equivalent to 100 miles per hour in baseball, the 71 mile per hour pitch for Montana Fouts, in terms of reaction time, of course. Will she go with the 71 mile per hour fastball here? The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Montana Fouts, 2 away.
Again, going back to that rise ball, relying on that and really putting it exactly where she's supposed to, right out of the hitter's zone. I mean, that is a great call by Stephanie Van Brakel and pro throw and just execution.
So Emma Burns will try and drive in the runner at second. First pitch misses. Burns, the freshman from Rapid City, South Dakota. He was 0 for 3 last night. The 1-0. This one hit hard out towards Alyssa Brown. Might have overplayed it. Minnesota sending the runner. The throw is in time, and they'll get her at home What a throw from Alyssa Brown, and Bailey Hemphill laying the tag for out number 3. Alabama gets out of it, and the Crimson Tide and the Golden Gophers stay scoreless here in Tuscaloosa. Montana Fouts was pretty good last night, but Amber Pfizer for Minnesota, Rachel, right there with her.
Still just being consistent, throwing, finding the strike zone, getting these Alabama's hitters to get themselves out, and that is huge. I mean, just using the off speed and mixing speeds is really helping Amber Pfizer to be effective.
Started off this game very strong, had a strikeout in the first inning. And the first throw into Reagan Dykes is low and inside for ball 1. Dykes, the senior from Collins, Mississippi, celebrated her senior day earlier this afternoon. It was 0 for 3 against Pfizer yesterday. That one misses.
You see, too, she's been struggling at the plate a little bit, so notice that she is now squaring around before the pitch is thrown. This is used to help the batter see the ball better and see the ball hit the bat.
The 2-0. This one poked right back to Pfizer. And the throw to first in plenty of time for out number 1.
Great job by Amber Pfizer using her tools and all of her different pitches just to keep Reagan guessing and not really knowing what else to, or really knowing what to throw her.
And good fielding as well, even though it wasn't exactly a hot shot. A lot of pitchers aren't really great in the field, Rachel.
Right, and that was, again, had spunky spin on it, just a great play by Amber Pfizer. Or, Pfizer. Mixed in Fouts and Pfizer.
First pitch to Claire Jenkins, fouled back. I mean, both have been machines this weekend, so it's understandable.
Absolutely.
Junior from Coleman, Alabama. Also had 2 of the 4 hits for the Crimson Tide. Was 2 for 2 with a walk. Reached base all 3 times she came to the plate against Amber Pfizer. 1 hopped in.
Claire Jenkins has hit 2 home runs so far this year, and I mean, the wind's blowing out, so gives her a good opportunity to take one out of here.
And Jenkins with a triple, 2 doubles, the 2 home run shots like you mentioned. 7 runs driven in this year. The 1-1. Nice movement, 1-2. The 1-2, swing and a miss, got away from the catcher, but the throw down to first is in time for out number 2. Tuesday, we'll have a men's college hoops doubleheader, and it starts at 7 Eastern, 6 Central with Mississippi State and Missouri in Starkville. Then it's number 4 Kentucky hosting Arkansas at Rupp Arena. Both games are right here on the SEC Network and on the ESPN app, so you can watch them anywhere. Kentucky basketball getting a big win against Auburn today. And now they're tied for first with Tennessee and LSU. And as Maddie Morgan steps in and takes the first pitch for a strike. Morgan, the sophomore from Linwood, Washington. 0 for 1 yesterday. That one hits, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, it's early, Rachel, but it feels like we're seeing exactly the same game.
Yes, I mean, hitters still not making really good adjustments, just seeing the same song, different verse, I guess.
This one over towards second base. Partain to first, and the side is retired. No score in Tuscaloosa here still between Bama and Minnesota. Some classics between Alabama and Minnesota the last couple years. 2017 NCAA Regionals, 2 games, won by the Crimson Tide 1-0. And then last night, Alabama won 1-0. So 3 meetings and 3 total runs scored between these two.
This just gives a testament, one, to both teams' pitching staffs. I mean, that's to have Montana Fouts and Amber Pfizer is huge, but also the pitching coaches who are just great game callers and just experienced and know what they're doing.
It has been tough to find runs in this series lately. As the first pitch to Allie Arneson comes in low. Arneson, the senior from Aledo, Texas, 2017 first team All Big Ten. Had a rough year last year, just hit for 200. He was 0 for 2 last night. This one is hit hard, though, towards the gap, and moving over and making the catch is Maris Schroeder for out number 1. But you could argue, Rachel, the hardest hit ball we've seen off Montana Fouts so far.
Yes, and Maris Schroeder got a great read on it, getting it right off the bat, just not hesitating to get to where the ball was, because who knows, stranger things have happened on this field.
Here's Carly Brandt at the plate. Strike 1. Brandt, the junior from Le Sueur, Minnesota. 0 for 2 with a strikeout last night. Still trying to find her rhythm at the plate. Just 3 for 16 this year, but those 3 have all been big. 2 doubles and a home run. Here's the 1-1. Right on the outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Again, Montana finding that strike zone that, I mean, has a fine line between that outside corner and right off the plate. So good job on PJ Galato for being consistent with his calling as well.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss on the rise, and there's 2 away as Fouts has another strikeout.
Again, great job by Montana going right at these hitters, not being afraid to get it in their kitchen and also throw it on the outside of the plate as well.
Ellie Jensen will step in now. She struck out back in the first inning. Showed bunt and fouled it back. That one over near Stephanie Van Brakel-Prothro, 1-2. Going with a little ice bag to the head there, Rachel. You ever tried that maneuver?
Hey, whatever works. You never know. I mean,
is that a luck thing or just trying to stay cool?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe just trying to keep yourself cool. It is hot out here in Tuscaloosa and humid.
1-2, swung on and missed on the rise. Another strikeout for Montana Fouts. It's basically the same game as last night, still scoreless. You're not watching last night's game on TiVo. This is another scoreless meeting between Alabama and Minnesota. And Jamie Traxel, the head coach of Minnesota, with us here. Coach, thank you for joining us. Amber Pfizer certainly looking strong again. What did you tell her last night after the walk-off to kind of get her refocused for this contest?
Pfizer did her job last night. She kept us in the game, gave us a chance to win. We got to give her some support offensively. It came down to 1 or 2 pitches for both pitchers, and they came out on top. But she did her job. She did a great job. She had big pitches and big moments, and we look for the same today. And
again, Montana Fouts in the circle for Alabama. What adjustments are you having the offense make?
We looked at all the film and all her at-bats, and so we have our game plan, just to attack early. Again, she's around the zone. She hits her spots. She's a great pitcher, but we want to attack and put some pressure on her and make her throw her best pitches.
All right, Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Jamie Traxel, the head coach for Minnesota. Just spent a moment talking about that young lady in the circle. Amber Pfizer with 2 strikeouts tonight. It really is amazing, Rachel. We saw both pitchers so sharp yesterday and now just sharp as ever tonight again.
Honestly, these hitters need to make an oh man, there goes Skylar.
Yeah, there's an adjustment by Skylar Wallace, and she beats it out. Beats it out, and Skylar Wallace is on first base, and that brings up Alyssa Brown, who has had a heck of a weekend for the Crimson Tide. Let's take a look at it. It's been just a little bit of everything. The walk-off hit last night to beat Minnesota. A single over the shortstop. And then stolen bases. A good number of them this weekend. Had 4 earlier today against Missouri State, tying an in-game record for Alabama with Callie Case in 2014, and she lays down a bunt, but it rolls foul.
Alyssa also having a great home run saving catch earlier and just playing stellar defense, and again throwing out the Minnesota runner earlier in, I believe, inning 2.
Yeah.
So just having a great offensive game or weekend and defensive weekend.
Was 1 for 3, but that one last night against Minnesota was pretty critical. Here's the 0-1.
Alabama looking to use Alyssa's speed and move the runner over as well, and maybe end up with a first and second situation versus just only advancing the runner.
Skylar Wallace just 3 for 3 stolen bases this year, but she's got the speed. Here's the 1-1. Bunt laid down. Throw to first is in time to get Alyssa, but Skylar Wallace moves ahead to second, and there's one away.
Great job by Alyssa Brown getting the sack bunt down and moving Skylar into scoring position and set her up really well for Kaylee Tao. Kaylee Tao has had a struggle off of Pfizer this weekend, but is looking to maybe turn that around in this at-bat.
Struck out back in the first inning. Runner in scoring position for the first time tonight for the Crimson Tide. They were 1 for 5 in these situations yesterday. Pitch nearly touches 70 for Pfizer, just a bit low. That one hits, 2 balls and 1 strike. And again, we've talked about this a lot this weekend, Rachel. Kaylee Tao not going after a 2-0 pitch when you know Pfizer has to throw a strike.
Right, and that's just an adjustment that needs to be made. Pfizer is going to keep mixing the speeds, and if Kaylee Tao cannot make that adjustment, it's going to be a long night for her.
2-1 fouled off as we see some of the Alabama faithful retreating to the concourse, which is never a good sign on a day when weather's been a factor.
We are now being told that we just saw lightning here on the field.
Yeah, we're checking.
And we'll confirm.
And there it is, the severe weather announcement for the next hour is what the PA announcer is informing the folks here at Rhodes Stadium. but I don't think we're stopping the game.
It doesn't look like that's affecting the playing time here.
Well, might as well keep it going until we have to stop. Kaylee Tao, 2-2. Wind really blowing out now. Runner on second. Fouled off.
Kaylee Tao really battling back here. Fouled off a couple pitches and is just working the count, making sure she hits the pitch fair that she can drive.
And as you mentioned, Rachel, still looking for her first hit against Minnesota this weekend. The 2-2. Ooh, nice hold.
Ooh, that's a risky pitch to take on with 2 strikes, and now I guess to load it now to full count.
Tantalizing on the outside corner. Payoff pitch coming up. Over to second. And the throw to first gets Tao. But Skylar Wallace moves to third, and here is a chance for KB Sides to drive in a run.
Granted, that is not probably the result that Patrick Murphy wanted from Kaylee Tao, but she did do her job. She at least moved the runner over to third, making it a lot easier to score and to bring the hot hitter up to bat, KB Sides.
KB Sides has been excellent this weekend. 1 for 1 tonight, singled in the first. And 2 runs driven in earlier today against Missouri State. First pitch in for a strike. Also a 2 RBI in game 1 of the Bama Bash, so he's been a run producer. The 0-1. Right down the left field line. That will score Skylar Wallace. No, they're calling it foul. I could have sworn that was fair, and Patrick Murphy agrees. It's called foul on KB Sides.
That was a perfect spot, too. The third baseman had come in, was really, I guess, I don't know, anticipating it was going to be a soft hit ball and maybe even a slap and run sort of thing. But let's take a look at it here.
Let's see what it is. Oh, yeah, that's just barely foul.
It's the right call.
Great eye by P.J. Gallardo behind the plate. Boy, that is about as close as it gets. Another common trend we've seen this weekend. Game of inches here at Rhodes. So from an RBI to 0-2. Sides right to third. Took a second for the third baseman, Kenneth Mueller, to get the ball out, but the throw's in time. Alabama can't cash it in, still scoreless. NCAA news from yesterday. #1 Florida State staying undefeated with a combined 28-1 day over Elon and Lipscomb. Washington beat Kentucky 4-2, and the Wildcats will play UCLA tonight. And then Arizona, an Alabama opponent from earlier this year, shutting out Oklahoma State. Complete game, 10 strikeout night for Taylor McQuillan in the circle for Arizona. Washington, a team that you know a good bit about, Rachel. You've been to Seattle a couple times and faced the Huskies.
Unfortunately, my career did end there, but Terry Novella is a great pitcher, and Washington has a great program, and I can't speak nothing but great words for him. So just, again, great program.
Heather Tarr, the head coach out there. They had a bizarre loss earlier this year to Notre Dame, 3-2. First pitch to McKenna Partain in for a strike. As you see, the top 25 by conference, SEC in charge there. Pac-12 and Big 12 right behind. Big 12 actually with more ranked teams than I thought they did, but SEC still in firm control, Rachel.
Yes, absolutely. And the SEC just is one of the best conferences you can play in. And for Minnesota to get this exposure early in the season, that's a huge advantage for them because they could see a bunch of these SEC teams in the postseason.
As Claire Jenkins punches out Partain. You're right, Minnesota has already seen Tennessee this year. We've got other tough Southeastern Conference opponents coming up. A game against Florida looms on the horizon. Already played Ole Miss this year. So getting a good number of the Southeastern Conference teams. As the first pitch into Maddie Houlihan misses low. Houlihan 0 for 1. Swing and a miss. 70.
I mean, even still going into the top of the fourth, she's still up there on the guy, and that's impressive by anybody.
This one put out there over to Jenkins. Long throw to first, and she beats it out.
What a play by Claire Jenkins, though, being able to get to the ball, and Kaylee Tao making that stretch. Unfortunately, though, their efforts were not enough to get the play, and Houlihan making a great effort getting down the line quickly.
Here it is one more time.
Again, Claire Jenkins making the throw here, and Houlihan just barely beating it out. But a huge advantage here for the Minnesota Gophers, and hopefully they can capitalize on it.
Houlihan does have some speed, 2 for 3 in stolen bases this season. The Gophers not a team that will lay down the bunt very often. Hope Brandner at the plate now. Strike one to her. Brandner walked back in the second inning. Just the third walk surrendered by Montana Fouts this season, and 2 of them to Hope Brandner.
That's a testament to her pitch selection as well, just making sure she's swinging at the pitches that are in the zone.
That pitch just out of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. As you can see on your screen, the rain really starting to fall pretty steadily now. And fans retreating again into the concourse. This one is hit hard, high, and long. Will it get there? Yes, it will. Off the light pole, Hope Brandner with the 2-run shot for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And Minnesota up 2-0 here on Alabama in the top of the 4th.
That's a great job by Hope. I mean, this is why she's in the lineup, to hit home runs for the Minnesota Gophers and put runs on the board. And that's exactly what she did. She used Montana, just really a mistake, I would say, just a huge right down the middle. Yep, there, I mean, Hope took advantage of that and just took it to the yard. Great job by her capitalizing on this opportunity and getting a second run across.
I wouldn't really call it an off-speed pitch, but it did not have the pace that we've seen from Fouts early on.
Did not.
Brandner taking advantage. What a huge momentum shifter, especially with the weather the way it is. And Madeline Hartog will try and keep it going to Jenkins. And out number 2 recorded.
One thing that Patrick Murphy has also said about this defense is that Claire Jenkins has been a rock in the infield. She has been such a vocal leader, and again, just making plays with funny hops or making backhanded plays look easy, you know, just being the solid rock in the infield and being a leader, because she is the oldest one on the infield. So that maturity, I think, is going to help the Alabama infield defense for sure.
And Claire, the junior from Coleman, Alabama, going up against Kemet Mueller at the plate. As that off speed finds its way in. 50 miles per hour from Montana Fouts. Kemet Mueller 0 for 1, struck out back in the second. That one finds the strike zone, 0-2. 72 miles per hour.
I mean, it may have hit another gear after that home run, and that's what you're supposed to do as a pitcher. When you give up a home run, the next batter that steps in that box, you go in and you go at them.
0-2, swing and a miss on the rise, and the side is retired. But Minnesota gets their first runs in the last 4 meetings against Alabama. Hope Brandner with the 2-run shot, 2-0 Golden Gophers. Minnesota getting on the board for the first time in the last 4 meetings against Alabama, and also the first team to score more than just a run in the last 4 games between these two. And Hope Brandner, the reason why, a 2-run shot in the last inning, transfer from Oregon State. And Rachel, they're certainly glad to have a power hitter in the lineup like her.
Definitely. I mean, she just really tattooed that ball, for lack of a better word, and that's very uncharacteristic like Montana, but just Hope Brandner using the talents that she has and getting it out of the yard and doing her job.
We haven't talked about her this weekend, but Minnesota lost a transfer this year as Bailey Hemphill swings at that off speed. Minnesota lost Kendall Lindemann from last year, won the Big Ten MVP a couple times. She's now at Florida, so she was one of their big power hitters. Lost her, now they've got Brandner in the lineup, and she has made her name known tonight. Here's the 0-1 to Bailey. And Amber Pfizer finds the strike zone, 0-2. Hemphill, 0 for 1. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the first. The 0-2. Fouled off.
Amber Pfizer hitting 68 on the gun.
And these are 2 pitchers with pace.
You got to be ready when you step in the box.
Good to see the rain has subsided a bit. Low and away for ball 1. Two, swing and a miss.
And that is a great job by Amber Pfizer, using all of the speed she has, the off speed, the changeup, the fast, I mean, just going right at Bailey Hemphill, which is hard to do being the biggest hitter in Alabama's lineup. So great job to Amber Pfizer.
Amber Pfizer has stonewalled Bailey Hemphill this weekend. She's now 0 for 5 against the hurler from Minnesota, and Mara Schroeder will step in, try and get things going for the Crimson Tide. She's 0 for 1, flew out back in the first. Right in there for a called strike.
That's the one that Alabama cannot let go by. Bailey let it go by, and now Mara Schroeder doing the same thing. That's something that they have to capitalize on, because Amber Pfizer is going to be the pitcher that goes right at you. She will give you a ball in the zone. You just have to be ready for it.
Pfizer waits, the 0-1. Schroeder thought about it. Low again, 2 balls and 1 strike. Including tonight's performance, Pfizer with a 49-6 strikeout to walk ratio this season. Oh, that one barely missed, 3-1 now.
That's a good spot for Amber Pfizer to put that ball, just because Maris is banking on that pitch right there. And, I mean, it makes her question whether, you know, it's a good pitch to swing at or not. And fortunately it was not, but also it's helping Amber Pfizer figure out the strike zone a little bit as well.
Schroeder with the hitter's count. 3-1 misses high, and Pfizer surrenders her first walk of the evening, and Mara Schroeder is aboard with 1 away. Now Reagan Dykes will approach the plate, 0 for 1. Mara Schroeder over at first, one of those Alabama green light girls. That one high for ball one.
Notice, though, that the catcher was already popped up a little bit. I think they were expecting Mara Schroeder to take second base on that one.
Yeah, you're right. It's Burns behind the plate. Basically a pitch out from Pfizer. Schroeder 4 for 4. Stolen bases this year. Dykes right up the middle. The throw to second is in time. The throw to first is not. So the Gophers do not turn the double play, but they get the force out at second.
Great job by Mara Schroeder breaking up that double play and giving Reagan Dykes a couple of, maybe an extra second to get down the line.
As Minnesota wanted perhaps some interference there on the slide from Schroeder. Let's take another look at it.
It looked like Mara Schroeder almost turned her ankle as she was getting up a little bit.
Jamie Traxel argues her case. Just 53 pitches for Amber Pfizer. She'll now battle Claire Jenkins, who struck out in the second inning.
Claire Jenkins having a day against Minnesota yesterday, going 2 for 2 with a walk. Doesn't get much better than that.
That one fouled back.
Seeing the ball very well, just going right at her and just doing what she does best.
New softball coming in as Patrick Murphy and Claire Jenkins share a few words. There you see the with runners on numbers. Minnesota taking advantage of their chances. Alabama 0 for 5 as that one gets away barely, and Reagan Dykes will slide in just ahead of the tag. It didn't get far from Burns, but Reagan Dykes saw a window and climbed through, and she's at second with 2 away.
Great heads-up play by Reagan Dykes. She doesn't have a whole lot of speed, but she knew as soon as Burns babbled that she would be able to get into second base safely.
Doesn't squirt away from Emma Burns far behind the plate, but Dykes just taking off. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2. This one is hit pretty hard out towards left, but not having to move very far is Brandt, and the side is retired. Bama gets 1 in scoring position, but can't do anything. 2-0 Minnesota. Discussing weather once again here in Tuscaloosa. Checking the Doppler, making sure everything is okay.
Maybe another rain delay coming here.
Well, I hope not.
Or I guess it'd be a lightning delay in this case.
Might as well make up a cot in the back of this booth, if that's the case, as they continue to discuss.
One of the unfortunate things about an outdoor sport is you do have to depend on the weather.
Clearly a decision being made as we speak. And it looks like we're good to go. There's a Doppler again. Oh boy.
Wow. We are just missing it.
How is it not raining right now?
I guess we're falling right into that little gray hole.
Oh, there's a little bit of rain. Spoke too soon.
You jinxed us. It's all your fault.
It's the announcer's curse at its worst. I will take all the blame if we go into another rain delay.
Because, Gray, you can control the weather, right?
Oh, absolutely. Here is the first pitch to Emma Burns from Montana Fouts. Allowed a 2-run home run in the previous inning. Burns doubled back in the second. One swung on and missed. But Minnesota has seen Montana Fouts a lot better tonight.
They have. I mean, I don't know if it's Montana's maybe hitting her spots, but their spots just happen to be the Minnesota player's best pitch. I don't know. That may be the case for Hope Brander, but I don't know. In this, it's just they're making adjustments, and Alabama's waiting to, or could be waiting too late to do it.
0-2, swung on a miss, gets away from Bailey Hemphill, and they're going to say it was foul tipped.
Bailey looks like she got hit by that one.
And Hemphill stretching herself out. Let's take another look at it.
Got both Bailey and PJ Gallardo, excuse me.
Tough night behind the plate. 0-2, high on the rise. Wind still whipping straight out. And there you see 18 miles per hour. 1-2. Off speed, got her. One away, Montana Fouts with her 6th strikeout of the night.
Great setup right there by Montana Fouts, just using her speed that she has, but also getting the batter with just a simple off-speed pitch. And I say simple as it's like an easy thing to throw with off-speed pitch, but still, great job by Montana.
Fouts recording her 6th K of the evening. Going up now against Arneson, 0-for-1. Fouled off. Here's the 0-1. Lower rise there for strike 2.
I can see Stephanie Van Brakel calling a pitch just to go right up above that, just to get her to swing and miss again. Especially being this ahead in the count, get it out of the zone.
We've seen Fouts go rise a lot with 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. That one low.
Oh, not the idea I had.
Might go with that pitch here with the 1-2 count. Gets her on the outside corner. Another strikeout for Montana Fouts. Make it 7 tonight.
Again, Montana just going right at these hitters, not being afraid to make them swing, and a miss in this case, I guess, but still, Hope Brander tattooing that one that she had earlier, so maybe she's figured out something that the other ones haven't.
It's been an impressive response from Fouts since giving up that 2-run shot. As Carly Brandt stands in now. First pitch, inside corner. Since giving up the 2-run home run, Fouts has struck out 3 of 4. And Brandt, one of the 7 strikeout victims tonight. Low and away, 1-1. This one chopped in the infield. Maddie Morgan collects it. The throw to first in time. And another solid play from Maddie Morgan at third for out number 3. Bama coming to bat, trying to come back here against Minnesota. SEC news from yesterday, Florida 14-0, added 2 more wins today against Illinois State and Syracuse. LSU beating Memphis and Michigan. Great start to the year for Shelby Sinceri, and Southeast Missouri State upsetting Arkansas 6-1. And it happened again today. Arkansas losing to Drake at home 3-1 as Alabama tries to put a dent in the 2-0 deficit they currently face, as the rain continues to fall here in Tuscaloosa. Brave patrons with their ponchos and whatnot.
I was going to say, Florida and LSU becoming forces to be reckoned with in the SEC. They're getting on their streaks and just keep getting better every game.
And Kelly Barnhill with another win today against Syracuse. And LSU trying to replace 2 All-American pitchers, Carly Hoover and Allie Walljasper. But the offense has come around for the Tigers this year. How he's in a t-shirt, considering how wet it's been today, but glad to see he got the poncho on. Two-1 count to Maddie Morgan, 0 for 1 today. And this one down the line, will it land? Yes, it's fair. Maddie Morgan heading to second, and she's got a stand-up double, and Alabama generating something here in the bottom of the 5th. Maddie Morgan aboard with the leadoff double.
That is a good piece of hitting right there, and you can see her energy. She is ready to go and get this game rolling. I mean, just something that Patrick Murphy talks about all the time is the energy that she has. And look at this pitch. Really goes with it, stays on it, and just hits it barely enough just so it can stay in fair territory.
First Alabama hit since Skylar Wallace led off the 3rd with a bunt single. And Wallace is at the plate with Morgan on second and nobody out. Crimson Tide 0 for 6 with runners on base tonight, 0 for 3 with them in scoring position. 1 for 5 last night with runners in scoring position.
One thing that I think is cool too about Maddie Morgan is that her intangible is to celebrate the little things, but in that case that was a big hit for her, so glad to see that happen for her.
Look at how close this was. Great angle. Oh my goodness. Game of inches so far this weekend. .0 finds the strike zone. 1-1. And if you're Alabama, Rachel, if you want to come back in this game, you've got the foundation in this inning. Now you have to do something.
Absolutely, especially when rain delays it a factor. I mean, there's a chance that the game could get called or maybe even have to play tomorrow, and then it changes the momentum of the game completely. So really important for Alabama to capitalize off of this big hit from Maddie Morgan.
There's that runner in scoring position, batting number again. Minnesota, the 1 for 2. That one did not result in a run as the runner got mowed down at home. Here's the 1-2 to Wallace, and that hits her. She'll go to first in the most painful way possible, but 2 on, nobody out. Alabama dugout fired up, and Alyssa Brown, the hero from last night, approaching the plate.
A timely hit here is going to be the key to this game. And just like Minnesota getting the timely hit earlier, Alabama's looking to get one in this situation, and maybe it'll be Alyssa Brown again, just like she did it last night.
Conventional wisdom would say when you need an RBI, take out the slapper. But considering what Alyssa Brown did last night, Patrick Murphy making no moves to the bench, it will be Brown that he relies on here.
Alyssa has been, for lack of a better word, a clutch hitter this season and is hoping to prove that tonight as well.
Sacrifice bunt back in the 3rd. Pitch low and away for ball 1.
Although there's a big opportunity too with no outs, she could potentially, like she just squared around to bunt. I mean, move the runners up and set the table for Kaylee Tao.
And if you're Pfizer, you have to be careful what pitches you throw. You don't want to walk Alyssa Brown and let the bases get loaded for Tao. The 1-0. Bunted foul.
Very important job for Alyssa Brown here. Advancing the runners, whatever cost.
And Patrick Murphy preaching to the team earlier today. Outs that matter as the 1-1 is bunted foul again. Here's what she did in that 7th inning. The walk-off single over the shortstop.
That's a great piece of hitting right there. Again, just staying right on the ball. Claire Jenkins getting a great jump, knowing that it's not going to go very far, so she's going to have to get on her horse and get around third base as fast as possible.
And the shortstop, Arneson, playing in the same position she was in last night as Minnesota calls time. And another matchup between two USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year watch list members in the top 50 of that watch list, Brown and Pfizer.
Even being selected in the top 50 is such an honor, and I mean, I can't tell you how much of a great person Alyssa Brown is, and I'm sure Amber Fisher the same.
That one misses low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pfizer has been excellent tonight. Just the 3 hits allowed. But one of those a double by Maddie Morgan to start off this 5th inning. The 2-2, right up the middle. Tough play. Alyssa Brown tries to beat it. She cannot, but the runners advance. It's an effective out and 2 runners in scoring position with 1 away for Kaylee Tao.
That's what you count as a quality at bat. Even though she didn't get the bunt down earlier, she did advance the runners into scoring position, and there still are less than 2 outs. So opportunity for a sac fly here from Kaylee Tao, or driving in both the runs, which obviously would be huge because it would tie up the game here.
And probably good for Minnesota that Pfizer did not get it as she was reaching for that little dribbler over to her right. As if she had, it would have been a tough turn to try and throw out Brown at first. And here's why Patrick Murphy has Kaylee Tao at the top of the order. Fouled off. Tao is 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, grounded out back in the 3rd inning. Hitter's wind here at Rhodes right now. The 0-1. Got her on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. What a pitch from Pfizer.
That's a perfect spot to put it, right at the knees. Tao being a 6'1" hitter, she's not going to want to swing at that low and away pitch. She's not going to be able to drive that, so that's a great spot for Amber Pfizer to put the ball.
Tao taking about a half step in on the plate. The 0-2. Chase pitch low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ooh, just misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Amber Pfizer putting this ball in a great spot, but not close enough to get the call. And great watch by Kaylee Tao, just knowing her zone and being able to lay off that pitch.
Holds off on the off-speed upstairs, and the count goes full.
I feel like Amber Pfizer in this situation is painting every corner, but just can't get the call.
Crowd on their feet. Dugout as loud as it's been on the Alabama side tonight. This feels like, to this point, the biggest pitch for Pfizer this evening. Payoff. Got her. No, missed. That looked right down the middle to me, Rachel. We're going to have to see that one again.
Wow, absolutely. I mean, great job for Kaylee Tao, but Amber Pfizer really looking like she's just shocked that it wasn't a strikeout.
Here it is again. Oh, I don't know where in the world that missed.
I mean, look at that face. That's, whoo. I would say she got lucky on that one, but bringing up KB Sides, the hottest hitter in the Alabama lineup, I mean, that's not a bad follow-up plan.
So the base is loaded after that call, and now if you're Amber Pfizer, you have to calm down. You thought you had the strikeout. suddenly the bases are loaded with only one away. And KB Sides, as you've said, potent at the plate this weekend.
Absolutely. She has had just one heck of a weekend. Now, granted, last night she went 0 for 3 against Minnesota, but again, when you haven't had a hit for a long time from a team, you're due to get one.
First pitch to Sides. This one right over the shortstop. That looks familiar. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. And KB Sides, how about that? With a 2 RBI single to even up this game here in the 5th.
KB Sides coming in clutch here. I mean, it does not get any better than that. At Rhodes Stadium, just sophomore and getting a really big start this year and coming up big for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
And you could split screen that with Alyssa Brown's hit last night, and it would look exactly the same. Here it is again.
I mean, perfect position here. Knows what the situation is, bases loaded, clears it right into the left center gap, enough to get at least 2 runs across, and still have another runner in scoring position. Here's Maddie Moore celebrating the little things again.
And Minnesota will have to chat in the circle. Alabama was doing nothing against Amber Pfizer, and then all of a sudden, a bit of life injected into the bullpen, into the bench, and KB Sides with the exclamation point to tie it up. Energetic crowd here.
Lynn Sides, you see there, KB's mom, very excited.
And now a big moment here for Bailey Hemphill, who has really, uncharacteristically for her, struggled a lot. Hemphill 0 for 2. Bad strikeout in the 4th inning, and a chance for her to redeem herself after struggling so much against Pfizer.
One thing that I think is going to be key in Bailey's at bat is looking for the hard pitch and laying off the off-speed pitch until she gets 2 strikes.
Outfield giving her respect. First pitch to Hemphill. Misses.
And again, if she walks Bailey here, loads up the bases again and gives opportunity to Maris Schroeder to drive in a couple runs.
Hemphill, as we said, 0 for 2. Alabama 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. This one is way back there. How about ending the slump against Amber Pfizer? Bailey Hemphill with another 3-run shot this weekend, and the Crimson Tide explodes here in the bottom of the 5th.
What a hit by Bailey Hemphill. Again, coming in clutch in this bottom of the 5th situation. I mean, Alabama's bats have come alive. Such a big moment for them, and you can see the team celebrating, just loving every minute of it. That is huge. I mean, look, just the excitement is undeniable.
Look at this again.
Beautiful swing. It looks like she almost tripped over her bat a little bit, but my goodness, that was just incredible hitting. Finally got the pitch she was looking for, didn't let it go by, and it just goes right out of here.
Minnesota hit a 2-run shot in the 4th. They had the momentum, but Alabama snatched it right back in the 5th. With a 5 spot here in the bottom half of this inning. And Amber Pfizer, who was rock steady, has all of a sudden shown some cracks against the Alabama offense.
I think really all of this started with Kaylee Tao getting that walk. I mean, that is a huge momentum killer for Amber Pfizer. She's feeding off of, having this great at-bat against a great hitter. And just now, I mean, feels not defeated, but I mean, that's a huge downer to give up 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th, especially when you had the lead for 4 innings.
I'll take it back a step further. I'll look at the hit by pitch on Skylar Wallace. Amber Pfizer up 1-2 in that at bat, and then just comes inside on a curve, giving a free pass to a batter that you really controlled all weekend. And Patrick Murphy's squad has really let it go here in the 5th inning. Maris Schroeder will try and keep it up. Fifth home run of the year a moment ago from Bailey Hemphill, and give her 22 runs batted in this weekend. 1-0 to Schroeder.
Wow. Maris Schroeder got a hold of that one there.
It's wild to think that Pfizer was absolutely mowing down these Alabama hitters, and all of a sudden, here in the 5th inning, they're seeing her just so well.
It's the spark. Once one player gets on, it's just an electric effect and just passes throughout the lineup. And you can't, that's not something you can fake. It's something that just has to happen.
Schroeder fouls that one off. It started with a Maddie Morgan double down the line. Skylar Wallace hit by a pitch. Alyssa Brown grounded out, advancing the runners. Kaylee Tao walked the bases loaded. KB Sides drove in 2 with a single to left, right over the shortstop, and then Bailey Hempill just now, a 3-run shot over the left field wall.
I think Pfizer will be taken out if Maris can get a hit here. That's a huge.
And there it is.
There it is.
Right over the second baseman. Schroeder is aboard. And the bleeding continues for the Gophers here in the 5th.
Let's see what Coach does.
We've seen a few arms warming up in the Minnesota bullpen. Sydney Smith has been over there. Rachel Lowry there as well. There's a hit again by Schroeder as Pfizer has just been lit up here in this 5th.
Great job by Maris, too, keeping her hands through that ball. That's a tough pitch to get to the outfield, and she almost muscled that one out there, so great job by Maris Schroeder.
It's all about composure here, right, Rachel, for Pfizer?
Absolutely. Keeping her poker face, not letting it show that she's affected here.
Well, she's going to be affected by that one. Reagan Dykes way back and way over the wall. Reagan Dykes has had a tough weekend, but that one not hard at all, way over the left field wall for a 2-run shot, and Bama continues to dominate this 5th inning at 7-2.
On her senior day, too. What a day for Reagan Dykes. Really struggled in the game before, but has really come alive tonight, just being there for her teammates and really trying to make something happen here.
Boy, the tenor of this game has changed completely. Here it is again.
Yep. Man, look at that. I mean, just driving straight through that. I mean, there's no telling how quick that ball got out of here. Look at her face. She was shocked. She was like, oh my gosh, I just hit that. My goodness, that is awesome.
Family in attendance today as the team celebrates another home run here in this 5th inning. And for Amber Pfizer, you have to wonder how it went south so quickly after an excellent performance last night and then a great start tonight. And because of the 7 runs, Minnesota will have to make a change in the circle. And we'll tell you who that is, and we'll tell you about that pitcher when we come back. Alabama up 7-2 on Minnesota. Reagan Dykes with a 2-run shot just a moment ago to give Alabama the now 7-2 lead. And because of that, Minnesota will make a change in the circle. It's the sophomore number 6, Rachel Lowry from Grimes, Iowa, who will come in and pitch in place of Amber Pfizer.
The left-handed pitcher throws mid to upper 60s, throws an off-speed, really works both sides of the plate, and from Coach Hesse is a young leader for this team.
There's Lowry, the sophomore, taking the spot of Pfizer.
Excuse me, Coach Traxel, not Coach Hesse.
It's been a long. Looks like the rain is staying relatively away, or at least rain that stops the game. First pitch to Claire Jenkins up in the zone for strike 1. Jenkins 0 for 2. Seven runs on 5 hits for Alabama in this 5th inning. 2 hits in the first 4 and no runs. Here's the 0-1. Jenkins lays down a bunt that just rolls foul. Trying to go down the first base line, pretty effectively laid down, but just rolling across that white line.
That is such a smart heads-up play for Claire Jenkins, which, I mean, goes with her great degree in just softball IQ in general. But, I mean, from seeing the long ball from the last however many batters, I mean, to give them a different feel. And, I mean, look where they're playing her now. They're playing at the baseline practically. So just seeing that and being a heads-up play, that's a great job by Claire Jenkins.
You're exactly right. The infield giving her a lot of space. 0-2 count now. Or I should say still. The 0-2 and swung on and missed. Couldn't catch up. And 2 away.
That's a great job by Rachel Lowry here, really using the off speed to keep Claire on her toes and not really giving her anything that she can, you know, hit her drive, especially that ahead in the count.
And Maddie Morgan at the plate. She started all this with a double down the line earlier in this 5th inning. Now back up with 2 outs. 1 for 2 tonight. And this one, a bunt that's popped up. Will it go? Yes, it's off the netting. Alabama this year was outscored 8-4 in the 5th inning. Coming into tonight, that will change after the 7 spot put up. That one misses low. The 1-1 to Maddie Morgan. Whoa, back to the netting. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, sometimes it just gets away from you. You can't really do a whole lot with it, especially when, you know, you got a drizzle here and there and the ball gets wet. It just sometimes happens.
I was about to say, surely that ball is pretty slick in Lowry's hands. Here's the 2-1. High, 3 balls and 1 strike. Alabama fans that have stayed through the rain have seen a treat here in the 5th. As that one drops in too low, and Maddie Morgan aboard once again here in the 5th with a walk.
Great at bat by Maddie Morgan, just being patient and, again, knowing where the ball is in the zone and what the home plate umpire is calling.
So the 5th inning continues. And Skylar Wallace steps in. Was hit by a pitch earlier in this inning. 1 for 1 today. Hard swing foul.
Skylar hit it inside the Parker earlier this morning, and that's not something you see as a first stat for especially a freshman as your first career home run. Usually it's over the fence, but Skylar's fortunate enough to have wheels to where she could get around all 4 bases.
And that was right after the rain delay. Here's the 0-1. Right down the middle, strike 2. Yeah, Wallace hit it off the wall. It got away from the left fielder. And scampered around. Scored on the inside the Parker against Missouri State earlier today. The 0-2. Gets away. Might have bounced back enough to give Burns a chance to get Morgan, but Morgan slides in safely because of the wayward throw. And the runner advances to second.
Sometimes backstops can be a key make or break for hitters or for catchers as well, because if it comes off hard enough, I mean, she may have had a shot to get Maddie Morgan in this case.
They'll call it a wild pitch on Rachel Lowry. It's just appeared a couple of times, just 3 1/3 innings pitched this season. And Skylar Wallace swings and misses. Got a nice pitch from Lowry, and the side is retired. But boy, oh boy, a big inning for Alabama. They've taken a 7-2 lead, courtesy of big home runs from Bailey Hemphill and Reagan Dykes. Exactly what the Tide needed. They're up 7-2. Well, we've been here before, as the folks in charge, the powers that be, have decided that we are going into another weather delay here in Tuscaloosa. There you see the folks making the decision now. And the tarp is being rolled out as we speak. Rain continuing to fall here at Rhodes Stadium. Alabama up 7-2 on the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Unfortunately, Alabama not being a stranger to rain delays today.
Yeah, we've seen this movie before, and we do not know a timetable. We don't know if this is lightning related, rain related, could be anything. You see the rain there.
Coming down pretty good, makes it difficult for the pitchers to be able to throw pitches effectively and just be in the game and have a successful outing.
So as they cover the infield here at Rhodes, we welcome you back into the studio. Gray Robertson and former Alabama softball player Rachel Bobo here with you. It's been quite a game. Minnesota had all the momentum. They had a 2-run shot from Hope Brandner, and then Alabama really lit it up in the 5th inning.
Absolutely. I mean, these two teams are great programs just collectively. Again, two great pitchers, Amber Fisher and Montana Fouts, but Alabama being able to make adjustments against Amber Fisher's and just Pfizer, I'm sorry,
yes,
not
okay.
Fisher, but really just making great adjustments against her today.
Yes, 7 runs in the 5th inning. Let's tell you how we got to this 7-2 Alabama lead as the weather delay begins, and it was Hope Brandner in the 4th inning for the Golden Gophers.
This is a great, just great piece of hitting here. You can see that hit about halfway up the foul pole and just really drove the ball and just gave it enough to where they could get the 2-run lead early in this game.
So 2-0 Minnesota. Up to that point, Amber Pfizer had moved along, and then the Alabama offense lit up. Bailey Hemphill with a 3-run shot.
This was a huge momentum shift. You can see Kaylee Tao rounding the bag. Same with KB Sides, who really started it off and just, really using this to capitalize and even continue later on with a home run later by Reagan Dykes, which you'll see here in a second.
And here is that Reagan Dykes homer.
Again, great piece of hitting, waiting on her pitch. She's been struggling all day and finally got the one she was looking for. That's just 1 on her senior day, and 2 just stepping up and showing leadership in the lineup.
So here is the radar, and you're seeing what we're seeing. That's a lot of green, that's a lot of red, that's a lot of yellow. And there is no timetable as far as we know.
That is very unfortunate tonight here, but hopefully we'll be able to clear something out and at least finish this game tonight.
So we will update you when we know more. We'll be back when play resumes. Alabama up on Minnesota 7-2. Weather delay here in Tuscaloosa. It's been a long day here in Tuscaloosa, and the weather has forced the end of this contest in 5 innings. The game has been called between Alabama and Minnesota. Final score 7-2 Crimson Tide over the Golden Gophers. Alabama remaining undefeated with the victory as we welcome you back into the booth. Basically our second home this weekend. Gray Robertson alongside former Alabama softball player Rachel Bobo. It looked like Minnesota was in control. Amber Pfizer was pitching extremely well in the circle, and then the 5th inning happened, Alabama exploding for 7 runs.
Again, hitting is contagious, and again, when Pfizer had her a couple of errors on the mound, it just, from the hit by pitch by Skylar Wallace and then walking Kaylee Tao, those are 2 big things that help propel the Alabama offense and take it to ultimately 7-run inning.
Yeah, and it was a dramatic game, even just in 5 innings. And let's see how we got to the point where we are now. Hope Brandner with a 2-run shot off Montana Fouts in the 4th.
That was just a beautiful hit right there, right off the pole there in center field. Doesn't get much more dead center than that. It was a great job. Mistake by Montana, but she'll later correct it in the coming innings.
And the first runs Minnesota's ever scored against Alabama, but Alabama would respond in the 5th. Bailey Hemphill, a 3-run shot.
This was the nail in the coffin for the Minnesota Gophers, which great for Alabama, but unfortunately the Gophers will not be able to respond from that.
Hemphill with another long bomb this weekend, and then right behind her, Reagan Dykes.
Such a great thing to see on her senior day. She struggled early in the day, really dug deep and got this hit here, and it was huge confidence builder for this Alabama offense.
That 2-run shot gave Alabama the 7 runs, and then the tarp came out because the rain was steadily falling here in Tuscaloosa, and then a decision reached between the powers that be and all the people in charge of Alabama, Minnesota, Louisiana, Monroe, and that's where we stand. We're done through 5. Alabama defeats Minnesota 7-2. What sticks out from those numbers, Rachel?
Definitely the 7-run inning in the 5th inning. 7-run inning in the 5th inning. Just really Alabama, again, putting the nail in the coffin in this lineup and just really going at it and getting a good win today.
And so for my partner, Rachel Bobo, and for our entire SEC Network crew, I'm Gray Robertson saying so long from Tuscaloosa, where the final score in 5 is Alabama 7, Minnesota 2. Our next softball broadcast from here in Tuscaloosa will be on Friday as Michigan State and Southern Miss take on Alabama in a doubleheader. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other events on our family of ESPN networks, download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the SEC ESPN Network. Have a great night, everybody.